righteous fury in our hearts. Tonight I will do the first opening prayer as we remember Luis Gustavo Nunez Sierras, Lunas Campos, Victor Manuel Diaz, Parity La, and Keith Porter. Most gracious God, we thank you for this day, but most importantly, we thank you for the courage of the people who gather in this place. We pray that you would smile upon our efforts and that you would give us the strength to stand up for justice wherever it raises its head. Allow us to be reminded that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
Yes.
And that because of your grace and your mercy, we believe in the tradition of my faith that trouble don't last always. At some point, God, we're believing that you are going to turn this thing around. So we pray for the families of those who have lost their lives, those who have been apprehended and taken into custody without question or without the proper procedures being taken. We ask that you would bless them and their families. But most importantly, we pray, dear God, that you would move upon the hearts of those who serve in this legislature. Allow them to look at their own families and recognize that we all share the same blood. We all share the same air. And that what affects one directly affects us all indirectly. We have a responsibility to be our brother's keeper. And most importantly, we have the responsibility even now to allow our lights to shine. So I'm going to ask you if you will join me just briefly, whether you can sing or not, by singing a song we learned in elementary school, This Little Light of Mine.
Woo!
This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine.
this little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine.
let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right now. Peace be upon you. With God's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. Dear brothers and sisters, we're here today, as my dear friend Reverend Slayton has said, to melt the ice. But we ask the Almighty, the one to whom we call on by many, many names, but we know whose essence is mercy, forgiveness, and justice.
Amen.
We ask the Almighty to let not justice leave our hearts. Infuse us with that spirit to establish freedom, justice, and equality, overcoming those who oppose us. Strengthen us so that we may be victorious in that which is right. We ask the Almighty God to bless us, to change those things, because he has told us in our scripture that he will not change the condition of a people until the people first change which is ailing them within their souls. And so we come to you today asking the Almighty to bless us, and let not faith leave our hearts. Let us be reminded that all of us can be victims. It doesn't make any difference now. We've come a long way, but we haven't come that far yet. So all of us can be victims, but all of us can be victors too, if we stick together like a head of cabbage. Because the cabbage is very, very hard to peel. It's very difficult to peel. So let us stick together, regardless if you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, you're a Jew, you're an atheist, regardless of what you profess to be that in establishing freedom, justice, and equality. And we let the people say, amen.
Amen. Woo!
We'd like to name a few names here again. Our sister Renee Nicole Good, Luis Beltran Yanez Cruz, Heber Sanchez Dominguez, and our brother Alex Petty. So dear brothers and sisters, this concludes the first part of this, and please, 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 let us love one another as we go forward. Let us never forget that love conquers all. And let us never forget that freedom, justice, the great man once said that there is no justice if there is no freedom, there is no justice if there is no equality. So let us move forward to establish freedom, justice, and equality.
Yes.
Peace be upon you. Assalamu alaikum. Erica is going to come now, or we're going to come to you, Erica. We're going to turn our attention and go this way to Erica, but as we go that way, I really like the way your voice is singing. So, shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
And take 5 steps forward. Everyone come forward, please. Warm each other up. Very good.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Erika Puentes. I am a proud West Baltimore native and a proud daughter of immigrants. Last year's legislative session, thousands of Marylanders demanded that our General Assembly end 287G contracts. And while the Maryland House did its job and listened to their constituents, unfortunately, the Senate stalled. And on midnights of sine die, our representatives went home without having passed the most important immigrant protection policy being considered that year. This year, all of that changed. Our advocacy did not end on sine die, and we kept rallying and raising our voices and demanding that our legislators listen to us way past legislative session, until finally the Senate President relented and agreed to give us the 287G ban. And this bill is now finally well on its way to the governor's desk. And that's thanks to community pressure. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy
democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
And I wish that I could tell you that our job is done, that our legislators got the message, and that they're all going to end all collaborations with ICE, and that they're going to start doing their jobs protecting our communities. But the truth is that many of these legislators on the federal level, local and state levels, no matter whether they are Republican or Democrat, many of these folk don't move unless you move them. And we know this because since the inception of this country, people have been fighting for liberation, fighting against these systems of oppression, fighting for accountability in law enforcement, fighting to abolish systems that have perpetuated violence against our Black brothers and sisters, the systems that have long devalued Black, brown, and immigrant lives. The state-sanctioned violence that we see today that is terrorizing our communities, kidnapping our people, tearing families apart, the countless videos of our community members being picked up from their work sites, dragged out of their cars, their homes, the scenes of ICE agents using children as bait, children, people being shot in the streets. The unfortunate reality that we must reckon with as US Americans is that this state-sanctioned terror is nothing new. This is a system that hasn't changed with elections, party control, or democratic supermajorities like we have here in Annapolis. And so we must continue this historic and ongoing fight to abolish these systems. And we are just asking our legislators to join us. And this legislative session of 2026, we rally here to call on our state leadership to end all collusion with ICE and Trump's mass abductions. Yes, ending 287G is a huge first step, but it only gets us halfway there. In addition to ending 287G agreements, we must end all informal collaboration happening every day. Now is not the time for half measures. Marylanders, our neighbors, our family, our communities won't be protected by half measures. And tonight you'll hear from different speakers who will remind us that real public safety doesn't come from surveillance, from policing, from deployment of troops, or collaboration with ICE. Real safety is rooted in dignity and community, because we keep us safe. And we are not backing down from this fight. The struggle continues. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
The people united will never be divided.
The people united will never be divided.
Thank you to everyone here today. And I also want to thank our partners who have made this program possible. The ACLU of Maryland, IRC, Student Fair, Progressive Maryland, Indivisible, CASA, Together We Will, Hartford County, NAACP, Garrett County and Washington County, JUFJ, and Advance Maryland. And now I want to welcome our first speaker of the night, the Executive Director of the ACLU of Maryland, Dana Baker-Shelley.
Hey, Will. No. I had an agent in Maryland right now. I'm in Annapolis.
The power of the people is what brings us here today.
It's at the third floor.
The idea, the
third floor.
notion that since folks across the state of Maryland,
The room
CASA
number
and
is
other
310.
organizations started working on getting rid of
Yeah, 3.
2287G in 2014.
No, but okay.
And all of that time later, we're finally getting closer to the finish line. But I would say this to our legislators: you ain't seen nothing yet when it comes to the power of the people in making sure that ICE is diminished, melted, kicked out of our state and our communities, because people are not safe. That part, he said. This is what community and courage looks like. People from all parts of Maryland, from Western Maryland, from the Eastern Shore, from Southern Maryland. Anybody from Baltimore County? It's fantastic to see you all here, mostly because you all have been here with us, with the ACLU, with CASA, with partners across the state, in your own communities, with Indivisible, throughout this current administration. And we know that we must remain focused, we must remain determined to make a difference, to protect people's lives. What you're hearing tonight is the sound of people power, and we want to see more of it. We want to have more accountability of our elected officials, our state elected officials. Let no one forget that Maryland was almost a Confederate state. Maryland is still in the United States. So when your friends around the country say, you're in a blue state, everything must be great. Well, you can tell them the truth. We need everybody. We will not be silenced, we will not be intimidated, and we will not stop working together until everyone in our state and in our country can live freely, safely, and equally under the law. In addition to focusing on 287G this session, the ACLU is very much focused on passing the Community Trust Act to make sure that our communities are safe. And again, as Erica said, we keep us safe. There are organizations and individuals, leaders you will hear from tonight, who in their communities, on their streets, across the state, are making a difference. We don't need ICE, we don't need extra police, we don't need policing our lives. Our local systems exist to promote public safety, not to funnel our neighbors into deportation pipelines. And we're also advocating for a racial profiling bill that speaks to who we are as a state. Maryland can lead by setting clear standards that protect people from being targeted because of race, complexion, ethnicity, nationality, or religion. We can make sure that everyone operating under Maryland law honors the constitutional protections. People have heard a lot about the Constitution in these last 3,000 and whatever days it's been since January 20th, 25, haven't they? We want to make sure that equal protection is available to everyone under the law. Let's remind our legislators tonight and in the days ahead that these protections, these laws must be passed now. It was an important step to get 287G agreements out of the way, but now we have to move forward. We need to close loopholes, we align our policies with our values. We want to make sure families and children and neighbors are protected. When legislators ask what makes communities safer, we offer a clear answer. Policies that uplift the humanity of every Marylander. That's what keeps us safe. Policies that end all voluntary collusion with federal immigration enforcement. That's what keeps us safe. Policies that build trust, not fear. We keep us safe. We keep us safe. We keep Maryland safe, all of us, and your neighbors and friends who weren't able to come out and join us tonight, but we keep us safe. And together we protect each other and our rights. And rights are only real when they belong to all of us. So today, this evening, please remember, this is what democracy looks like. You are what democracy looks like. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dana. Thank you. And that's exactly right. We're here to push policies that uplift the humanity of all Marylanders, and that's what's going to protect us. Next up is Crisali de los Santos, the Baltimore and Central Maryland Director
yes,
at
ma'am.
CASA.
Sure.
Thank you.
¡Se puede! ¡Se puede! ¡Se pudo! ¡Se pudo! Good afternoon, family. Buenas tardes, familias. My name is Crisali de los Santos, and I am CASA's Baltimore and Central Maryland Director. Buenas tardes, familia. Mi nombre es Crisali de los Santos y soy la directora de CASA en Centro Maryland. Let's start with this. We did it. Lo logramos. We shut down 287G in our great state of Maryland. After more than a decade of organizing, marching, rallying, testifying, and refusing to back down, we ended a program that allowed Maryland to play a direct role into the deportation machine. Después de más de 10 años, más de una década, peleando, organizando, testificando y diciendo no nos vamos a bajar, logramos poder terminar los contratos en Maryland de 287G, asegurándonos que nuestra policía local no sean parte de esta máquina de deportación. And tomorrow, mañana, our governor will be signing the bill into law. Nuestro gobernador va a estar firmando esta póliza a una ley. And as of tomorrow, police officers doing ISAP in Maryland will no longer be legal. A pesar de mañana, ningún oficial que esté haciendo el trabajo de inmigración aquí en Maryland va a ser legal. Now, I'm a proud Afro-Latina immigrant from the Dominican Republic. Yo soy orgullosa inmigrante de República Dominicana, and this fight is very personal for me, not just for my family, but for all of our communities, for all of us who are here today. Como inmigrantes es una pelea que es muy personal para mí, no solo por mi familia, sino por todos nosotros que estamos aquí, todas las personas que no pudieron estar aquí. This victory belongs to the people. This victory belongs to the movement, to every person who knocked on the door, to every person that showed up to a lobby day and lobby here in the Maryland General Assembly. Every mother who told their story, every children that had to go to this horrible moment. Every kid that walked out of their school and said, no ICE is welcome here in Maryland. Esta es una victoria de cada organizador que tocó una puerta, de cada persona que vino aquí a abogar por esta legislación, pero más importante, para cada joven que salió de su escuela y dijo, ICE no es bienvenido aquí en Maryland. We shut it down, because if it doesn't work, what do we do?
Shut it down!
If it doesn't work, what do we do?
Shut it down!
Now let's be clear. This is not enough. This is not nearly close to what we need to do to make sure that our immigrant brothers and sisters can feel safe here in Maryland. Tenemos que ser muy claros. Esta es una victoria, pero no es todo lo que tenemos que hacer para asegurarnos de que nuestros hermanos y vecinos inmigrantes se sientan seguros aquí en el estado de Maryland. So what are we going to do? What do we do when our community is under attack? What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
So we are going to pass the Community Trust Act. We are going to pass the Data Privacy Act. Because we are not done. No hemos terminado. Vamos a pasar el acta de confianza de comunidad, así como también vamos a pasar el acta de privacidad de data aquí en el estado de Maryland. Porque no hemos terminado. We are not done with ICE. We are not done letting ICE use Maryland to carry out their agenda. No vamos a permitir que ICE siga usando nuestro estado de Maryland para seguir con su agenda. 287G might be shut down, but we are calling for zero cooperation with ICE. We're going to shut it all down. Puede ser que hayamos terminado con 287G, pero eso no es suficiente. Queremos cero colaboración con inmigración. Y lo vamos a acabar. We have a lot of work to do. Tenemos mucho trabajo que hacer. But today we are here because we choose families over fear. Nosotros elegimos nuestra familia antes que el miedo. We are here because we choose dignity over division. Estamos aquí porque nosotros decimos sí a la dignidad y no a la división. Y estamos aquí, and we are all here today because we say people over politics. La gente está por encima de toda política. Now I want you to look around. To your right, to your left. This is what power looks like. Quiero que miren a su derecha, a su izquierda. Esto es como se ve el poder. Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
And we are not going to back down.
Go.
Se puede.
Sí se puede.
Se puede.
Sí se puede.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to the ACLU, to all the organizations that are here today, to Delegate Scott Phillips, to Delegate Nicole Williams, to everyone, to the Latino caucus, to the Black caucus, to the AAPI caucus. This is our community, and we're going to make sure that we continue to show up, that we continue to stand our hand to our neighbors, and to make sure that everyone in our community, no matter where they come from and what language they speak, immigrants are welcome here.
When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! Let me hear you!
Thank you, Crisali and Casa, for being one of the leaders in this fight. We must end all collusion with ICE. We must protect our communities. Up next, we have Lawrence Grand Prix, the Director of Research at Leaders of a Beautiful Struggle.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening!
LBS is proud to support CASA, ACLU, and so many of the folks here. We're a grassroots think tank based out of Baltimore City. We're working for 15 years on a variety of social justice issues. I'm going to come through all three. So through the connections that we see, that found in the tradition, we prefer that.
Is it trash can? Yes. Thank you.
Sure.
Reality that when you are put in an adult facility as a youth, solitary confinement, taken away from your friends and family, the trauma ripples out through community. Isn't that similar to when you look at a place like El Salvador,
MS-13 is largely folks who were put in American prisons and deported to El Salvador.
Shame.
Exactly, violation of Geneva. So we know that system, if they claim does not produce safety, it produces death, and death produces more death, not safety. So I want to talk briefly about something we see online, something we occasionally see in person, something I think is important to call out and understand. There are some folks who have just been so confused about how the rhetoric can be so disjointed from reality. We say Black Lives Matter, we say no person is illegal. But if we see things get so bad, we think someone is selling us out. Is it because maybe their parents weren't born in the USA? Is it because maybe you only be born in the USA, you have some unique ability to understand Black oppression? And we see folks trying to divide the Black community from the immigrant community based upon this notion of where you're born on this soil. But we know what that is. That is folks using the pain and division that they produce to turn us against each other.
Yes.
To create desperation. So people are so desperate to find someone selling them out. They aren't seeing the system that's putting all of us in peril.
Yes.
People talk about crabs in the barrel, but never talk about who built the barrel. Who put the crabs in and who's turning up the heat, boiling all of us.
Yep.
So this is the reality. But someone like Stephen Miller says, when they come to America from a broken country, they don't leave that brokenness in the country, they bring it with them. Are they talking about Latin America? Are they talking about Africa? Are they talking about the South? We are also a northern migration state because they said the same thing when our ancestors from North Carolina and South Carolina came up here to Maryland. There's something wrong about them. They have a defective culture that we must resist. They say the same thing when folks from Baltimore City go into Baltimore County, when they go into the mall in Columbia. This is a consistent pattern of racialized white supremacist violence that we are all struggling against.
Yes.
I want to leave you with this. 10 years ago, a little more than 10 years ago, I was in Baltimore dealing with the Freddie Gray situation. I was talking to a group in East Baltimore, having someone from CASA translate for me. I speak a little Spanish, but not enough. And I realized I didn't need to know every word that was being said to know I was understood. And I knew the people in that room knew that they were willing to ride for me because they knew the same people that were coming for Freddie and coming for me will be coming for them someday. And that day is here. Unfortunately, that day is here. What we know is that there have been folks in this struggle for a long time. The war on drugs shredded Baltimore, same way it shredded Colombia, same way it shredded Mexico. And when we push for ending youth charges for adults, so much of that's tied to the war on drugs. When we push for reparations for the war on drugs, when we push to end all ICE collaboration, we are showing people who are desperate, so desperate they might turn on each other, that you don't have to turn on each other. You can look at your enemy, stand them down, and beat them in political battle. And that is a political battle. But everyone here, we hope, is enlisted in the long battle, the long fight, to not just win one battle when it's in the news, but to come back year after year consistently, to do the long work of changing people's minds by showing them that we don't have to be against each other. We know who the enemy is. We just have to have the strength to fight them and the hope to believe that we can. Thank you.
Let's try it again. No justice,
No peace.
no justice, no peace. No ice in our streets.
No ice in our streets.
No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace.
No ice in our streets.
No ice in our streets.
No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace.
No ice in our streets.
Thank you, Lawrence, and leaders of the beautiful struggle for all the work that you do, for always putting community first in the policy work that you lead. And now I want to welcome Delegate Nicole Williams, the sponsor of the Ending 287G Contracts Bill.
All right, no justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
All right, good evening, everybody. How are you doing? Good. I'm Delegate Nicole Williams. I represent represent District 22 in Prince George's County, Maryland. For my Prince George's County folks. All right, so tomorrow at 10 a.m., Governor Moore is going to be signing into law the emergency legislation to ban 287G agreements here in the state of Maryland. I just want to thank the ACLU for being a partner in this work for the last couple of years to get this bill passed. I feel like this bill was introduced before I got to the General Assembly. We brought it back again. We brought it back last year, and now it's finally here this year after years of lots of hard work across the finish line. And so it's thanks to all of you all of your advocacy, all of your emails, all of your phone calls. Thank you guys so much for everything that you all have done to make this a reality. And so we are so excited, but it doesn't just stop with this one bill. Someone has said, I was at an event the other day, and they stated that if you are an advocate against racism, if you are an advocate against any ism, you're not just an advocate some of the time, you are an advocate all of the time. And so we can't just stop with just this one bill. We have to keep going. And so we have another bill that's pending to ban masking by law enforcement officers. And so that bill will be up before the Judiciary Committee soon. It's already passed out of the Senate, so we're going to be working on that later on this session, but it doesn't stop with this session. We need you here every single year for every single thing that's going on. I see the signs, abolish ICE. We know what's going on Capitol Hill. We see what's going on the federal level, how there isn't the will. And I know some of our colleagues are pushing, but we need to push back on what ICE is doing in all of our communities here in the state of Maryland and across the United States. So thank you guys so much for all of your support. If you're here tomorrow, join us for the celebration. We're going to have a press conference at 9 a.m. to celebrate the passage of this bill before the governor's signature. So thank you so much, and keep on fighting.
Thank you so much, Delegate Williams, for your consistency, your legislative advocacy to end the 287G program. And now we will have Delegate Phillips, the chair of the Black Caucus, who will share a little bit more about the Community Trust Act.
ACLU, how you feeling? I want to thank Delegate Williams. It takes a lot to carry bills that sometimes people see as controversial. But Delegate Williams handled it with grace, and at the end of the day, we got it done. So let's talk about community trust. That's what we all want. We want to be able to trust our law enforcement. And so let's talk about 1575, House Bill 1575, the Community Trust Act. At the end of the day, I believe in the Constitution. Don't you?
Yes.
Well, the Constitution provides due process, doesn't it?
Yes.
So what we're seeing today, does that look like due process to you?
No.
We want judges before jails. We want somebody to have an actual warrant that somebody has reviewed, don't we?
Yes.
And that's what the Community Trust Act is all about. It's about giving people an opportunity to be heard through a judge before a warrant is issued. And just think about that. Immigration is one of the few areas where we allow an administrative process to take someone and then lock them up. Think about that. No judge, no jury. It is a shame. But what the Community Trust Act calls for, it says, you know what, we're not cooperating with ICE because they've got some administrative piece of paper that comes to them and says they can pick somebody up. What we're saying is, if they're in our custody, then bring us the warrant. We'll tell you that. Clock it. What we're saying is we're not cooperating with you until you give people truly their due process. Because the Constitution doesn't say I have to have a piece of paper that says I'm a citizen in order to have due process. Everybody here on this soil, everybody has a right. And so that's what we're going to be fighting for. We ask you to fight with us. I need you to say due process. Due process! Thank you.
When I say what we want, you say community trust us. What do we want? Community trust us. When do we want? Now. What do we want? Community trust us. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Community trust us. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Community trust us. When do we want it? Now.
Thank you so much, Chair Phillips. Thank you for your wise words. And now let's welcome powerful, powerful student speakers, Tracy Espinosa and Jeriel Martinez-Knapp with Students Fair.
We love our young people!
Gilmar Abrego García, Dulce Consuelos Díaz Morales, Elsie Berrios, Minosca Maldonado Derras.
Remember their names, because somewhere in Maryland, a mother prayed for her son's return, and a kid came back to an empty home. More than 3,000 Marylanders have been detained by immigration enforcement since the beginning of 2025. How many more names must we learn? How many more children must wait at the door for a parent that might never return? How many more until Maryland acts?
The fear of our parents not coming home, the disappearance of our loved ones, and the growing responsibilities that our children have had to take in the absence of their parents is not new. This is a reality that many immigrant families have faced for decades now. Violence and injustice against immigrants have been perpetrated for years. Yet, it seems that legislators are only acting upon these violations now that they have become the latest headline. Now that the injustice against our communities has become too loud to ignore.
When past administrations have deported, abused, and killed our immigrant communities, we were as present as we are now, and we will continue to fight for the rights of our immigrant communities, as we always have. But why is it that children have to be deported, that our mothers, our fathers, and our friends have to die at the hands of immigration agents to get the visibility and the palpable action that we deserve and have continuously fought for?
While our elected officials wait hesitantly to take action, our students, these students, have decided that they've seen enough and that it's time for a change. Students across Montgomery County, Baltimore, and Arundel County walked out of their classrooms. They walked out because they're tired of learning about justice from a textbook while watching injustice unfold in their neighborhoods. They walked out because their friends and families are disappearing. They walked out because babies are being taken and used as bait to lure loving parents out of their homes and into humane detention centers.
Liam Conejo Ramos, a 5-year-old, was forced to enter one of these detention centers before he even entered kindergarten. 5, and yet the system treated him as he were a threat. Are these the alleged criminals ICE is targeting? A 5-year-old. If the system can see a 5-year-old as dangerous, as a criminal, what does that say about the rest of us? What does that say about the people we call our friends, the people right next to us, the people we work alongside every single day?
Kilmar, Dulce, Elsie, Minoska, Liam, they represent thousands, millions more. Governor Westmore has the power to end 287 agreements in Maryland. Your state senators and delegates have the power to vote to pass SB 1 and House Bill 1017, unmasking ICE agents and ending the development of detention centers in Maryland. We must act now.
The future of Maryland will be shaped by whether we refuse to be complicit in a dehumanizing agenda or by the excuses the state scrambles to give when asked why they didn't. So what will we do tomorrow? What will we do in our future? What will be Maryland's future?
When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
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 Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tracy and Jerry-Ann. It's such an honor to be part of a movement that's led by the youth, by students.
Yes,
When I say students, you say power, student!
Power!
Student!
Power!
Student!
Power!
Student! Next up, we have the House sponsor of the bill to ban racial profiling, Delegate Malcolm Ruff from Baltimore City.
What's up, ACLU of Maryland? Make some noise! I gotta first give it up to Erica Puentes. Can y'all make some noise for her? My constituent. Straight out of the 41st Legislative District, the mighty 41st. I am Delegate Malcolm P. Ruff. I am the chairman of the Capital Budget Subcommittee on Appropriations, but moreover, I am your ally, your advocate, and your partner in the fight for justice and freedom for all people. And I also happen to be a civil rights litigator as well. So I've been working with ACLU for years, fighting against police brutality and racial profiling, and that's why I am so honored and thankful to Dana and the ACLU of Maryland for ensuring and trusting me with the legislation that will end racial profiling by federal law enforcement officers in the state of Maryland. Now, for some odd reason, the Supreme Court of this great nation decided that they were going to allow this practice to take place in our streets, in our communities, in our neighborhoods. That's right. Shame! Shame! The top jurists of our state don't respect our skin folk. The top jurists of our country don't respect our culture. But guess what? The states are sovereign. Did y'all know that? And we get to decide how we get treated in this great state. And so I'm going to ask you all to support me and Senator Charles Sidnor, another justice warrior, to join you all in being the guardians of freedom with HB 1262 and SB 854 that will end racial profiling by federal agents. Specifically, we're talking to ICE. ICE, this is for you. ICE, you will not pull over our brothers and sisters simply because they speak Spanish. ICE, you will not pull over our brothers and sisters simply because they don't look like you or don't look like the majority culture. And that is a fight that I will fight every single time. I will die on that hill because our civil liberties must be protected with every ounce of our being. And just like with our legislation on 287G, and then y'all know it, House Bill 444, when I saw the angel numbers, I said, oh, God got this. God got this. It ain't no way that this bill ain't gonna pass. But just like with House Bill 444, the 287G legislation, I know we will push this legislation forward because the people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. Thank you all so very much. Keep on fighting. Power to the people.
Thank you so much, Delegate Ruff. Delegate Ruff is my representative from District 41, and I can tell you firsthand that he's one of our strongest champions, not just for District 41, but for the entire state of Maryland.
We won't put up with ICE. Say it once, say it twice. We won't put up with ICE.
And now we have another incredible community leader from West Baltimore, Anthony Wazir Muhammad, with We Are Us.
Good evening, everybody. How everybody doing? My name is Anthony Muhammad. I am a community engagement specialist with an organization by the name of We, Our, Us. I didn't say me, myself, and I. I said we, our, us. I want to thank all of my family and friends from the ACLU of Maryland who extended the invitation to be here with you all this evening to share with you an example of what it is that we do in Baltimore City as a prototype of how we keep us safe in Baltimore City. The We Are Us organization is not just an organization. It is a collection of organizations. It is made up of individuals of different races, different religions, different social, political, educational ideologies, whose goal is singularly to keep our communities safe in Baltimore City. What is the work that we do? We are connectors, protectors, mediators, and messengers. We connect our community with services and resources. We mediate beefs and conflicts through our Stop the Beef program. We message through a narrative or truth-telling that all is not lost, all is not bad. And we protect the community through our community engagement walks by showing up on your block, on your corner, in your neighborhood with hundreds of men who are committed to keeping our communities safe and decent places to live. Why are we here? Because we keep ourselves safe. And I'll share with you this one illustration. In 2023, the 8 years prior to that, Baltimore City had 8 consecutive years of over 300 homicides. But the We Are Us organization and all of our community partners and affiliates decided that 2023 was going to be the year that we brought the city in for the first time in almost a decade under 300 homicides. We did not do that through more arrests. We did not do that through locking more people up. We did that through community engagement, community organizing. And I don't know if you've heard the news. I don't know if they told you, But over the last 3 years, 2023, 2024, 2025, Baltimore City has experienced historic reductions in homicides and non-fatal shootings. Through community organizations and community efforts. There is no one individual, there is no one organization that can claim the credit for that success. What our mayor, Brandon Scott, has said, what our governor has said, is that this success and the credit for it goes to the community. So our message to you is continue to organize. Organize every community organization you have in your jurisdiction. Every individual who wants to work has to be committed to the cause that we keep our communities safe. And I'll close with this. This is a call and response that we do in Baltimore that is now being heard in Philadelphia. It's being heard in Detroit. It's being heard in Chicago. It's being heard in Los Angeles. And all of the cities that have been plagued for decades with crime and violence are now following our lead in Baltimore City. And this is our call. When I say we all we got, I want you to say we all we need. We all we got.
We all we need.
We all we got.
We all we need.
We all we got.
We all we need.
We all we got.
We all we need.
That is not just a call and response pattern. That is what we eat, sleep, and breathe in Baltimore City right now. We are not sitting around waiting for anybody else to make our community a safe and decent place to live. It is the community organized that does that. Thank you, and we stand in solidarity with you.
Thank you so much, Anthony, for those powerful words. Like you said, we keep us safe. And now let's welcome all the way from the Eastern Shore of Maryland, the incredible Dr. Fouché.
Good evening. I am from Haiti. Haiti is the first country in the Americas where anyone who was walking, who was beefing, was a woman. And you can understand why they have been trying to quash us in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
From Wicomico throughout the Eastern Shore, statewide and nationwide, there is a movement that lies from a single truth. Immigration is not a border crisis. It is a reflection of instability, inequality, climate disruption, and more than a century of uneven economic policy that across the Americas, lasting solutions demand vision, not fear. And Maryland understands what doesn't work. Criminalization is not the answer. Programs like 287G that turn local law enforcement into immigration agents are not the answer. ICE raids that tear apart families, destabilize workplaces, and drive entire communities into the shadows are not the answer. These policies do not make us safer, they make us weaker. They erode trust between communities and the institutions meant to protect them. They punish people for being human beings.
Yeah.
But the movement in Maryland cannot stop there. This is bigger than one state. From Midwestern farms to Chesapeake seafood houses, from southern construction sites to hospital and tech hub nationwide. Immigrants, labor, and entrepreneurship power America's economy. We are talking about trillions of dollars. Immigrants paying into social security, paying unemployment benefits, and they won't get one penny. Why? Because they don't have a green card. They don't have the citizenship. Immigration policy fails every state, and every state is paying the price through labor shortages, strained system, and fractured communities. Legal programs that allow immigrants to come and stay here in the US are under attack, not because we broke any law, but because the law was changed to break us. This is manufactured illegality. All eyes should be on the Supreme Court of this country. Judge Reyes reminds us that the law must be about the law, not ideology, not fear, not politics, not pressure, not death threats. When courts uphold the rule of law, they protect the integrity of American democracy itself. In these times of trials, the Supreme Court of the US should be a shield against political interferences. They should have the courage to stand against injustice. And you know it. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. And we should also have our eyes on Congress, because it doesn't make any sense for some people to be living in this country and working and paying taxes, contributing to systems that will not give them one penny for the past 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, building houses that they will not be able to live in, building universities that their kids will not be able to attend. We need to fight for comprehensive immigration reform here in the US. And we need also to fight for a new Marshall Plan. After World War II, the United States of America stand with Europe. And we have a war here in Americas, in Haiti, in Honduras, in Guatemala. Gangs prevent people from having a peaceful life at home. And when we look deep into the root causes of all the troubles in this country, US foreign policies have a heavy hand on this trouble.
That's right.
So we need a new Marshall Plan for the Americas, a bold regional investment strategy to implement democratic institutions, support small farmers and businesses, build climate resilience, promote fair trade, and advance workforce development across the hemisphere. Stability abroad creates stability here in the US. When families are no longer forced to flee violence, corruption, or hunger, migration becomes a choice, not a necessity. The Maryland movement can spark a national awakening rooted in dignity, economic common sense, and shared prosperity. Maryland can continue to lead bold immigration reforms, protecting due process for all, expanding lawful pathways to work and protection, and ensuring that no family is being criminalized for seeking safety and opportunity. Because when all the countries in the Americas rise together, every nation in every region in the world will rise with them.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fouché. Thank you for bringing that Pan-Americanist perspective and for speaking on the global context of all of this. Now let's welcome Tim Eppers, an Army combat veteran, also from Baltimore.
Hello, how's everybody doing?